G'day ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Aussie Starcraft, where we'll be casting some of the fun ladder games I've played recently. As you can see on the right hand side, or the top right hand side of this game, as our purple Terran player, it's going to be me, Aussie Starcraft, mixing up, playing a bit of Terran. My ally Smallpox, one of my mates that often ladders together with me, so we play a lot of 2v2, particularly on the NA servers. Playing as Protoss is going to be Smallpox in the bottom left hand corner, as our red Zerg. Playing for Team Momarif, it's going to be Wodan, and his ally Dark Matter. So Terran Zerg versus Terran Protoss, and I tell you, when we loaded up this game and saw that Dark Matter was a diamond level Terran, well, a generic reaction to that sort of thing is, cheese, how can we cheese? Knowing that as humble silver players, that eventually a diamond player, the longer the game goes on, is just going to mollywomp us in some spectacular style. So I think in this particular game, from memory, both me and Pox decided that we would go from cheese, and you have either the world's earliest scout moving out here, or you have us deciding that we're going to try and proxy this diamond player. So we'll see how it goes. We do know that he's Terran. He's probably going to be walling off. I decide I'm going to try and build here in this little nook. There's also one of our not so great 2v2 maps. We have some 2v2 maps that we do really well on. This one not our best map, so going to be proxying a barracks here. Smallpox likewise going to be proxying a few of his barracks. Now unbeknownst to us, these guys actually had fairly similar intentions. We have one base Zerg, Mr. Wodan here, just going to be going all minerals and no expansion. So you can see not sort of your regular openings, but for those of you that have played a lot of team games on the ladder, you'll know, as I do, that often it just seems whichever race can do the best tier 1 unit rush tends to win. So we have non-speedlings moving out here, and fortunately for me, they're not going to find this barracks. We have gateways from Smallpox here, and even a forge, probably trying to wall in, keep this pylon safe from any early Zerglings. I'm deciding to try and finish up a wall here with some supply depots. We know that if they get any units in our base, we're going to be horribly dead. We've got absolutely nothing left at home to defend. We have Dark Matter here, actually going 3 barracks, no add-ons, 3 barracks, all Marines. So we're going to have a Marine Zergling rush versus a very late Proxy Reaper and a few Zealots, I'd imagine, out of Smallpox momentarily. So at this point in the game, we have no idea what our opponents are doing. We didn't want to scat out. A little bit busy trying to produce our proxy as quick as we could. Even seeing that supply add-on, the supply drop add-on on the depot there. That's how you know both players are cheesy. When it's not a mule, you actually use it to unsupply block yourself. We have these guys moving out with a stack of non-speedlings and plenty of Marines to back it up. Even have an SCV pool, so Mr. Dark Matter all in here, going to be leaving one SCV and a potential for mule, and just streaming as many of these as possible out the door. They actually saw the first couple of these go past, and that's when we realised we were in substantial trouble. As you can see, Smallpox here actually managing to get his Zealots into the middle of this SCV line. A few of my Reapers going to be plucking away here, going to micro that Reaper away, keep him alive. So I actually managed to clean up a lot of these Marines, and a little bit of poor control here. My Reapers managed to get surrounded and wiped out, but when in doubt, throw down another barracks and completely wall in. The Zerglings making their way across the field, and this is what you call a desperation response. I try and throw down as many supply depots as possible, wanting to wall this off, try and keep it safe. Few SCVs here all ready to repair, and I probably, in hindsight, should have thrown that barracks down closer to the wall, used it to wall off. We have these Zerglings just going to town. Smallpox, a few Zealots making their way through, but looks like this proxy may well get cleaned up here. We have a photon cannon going down. Nice positioning there. It's going to prevent the Zerglings actually getting too much surface area on the attack there, but so many Marines here is going to be able to focus that one down. We have the Marines going to town on Smallpox's proxy, but we have a few Reapers in production. These Reapers potentially going to be able to do a lot of damage to what is a relatively diminished line of SCVs here. So this is all manner of silliness, and there's what many silver and bronze sort of level games do degenerate to. We have 3 Reapers going to town on a very diminished supply line, so Dark Matter going to be cutting off these marine reinforcements. A few marines still here. This Reaper probably could use a little bit of micro, but busily trying to defend and attack it at the same time. We have speed finally finishing up for these Zerglings, so these Reapers causing all sorts of problems for Dark Matter. Zerglings trying to make their way through, but auto-repairing SCV is going to be keeping us safe for the time being. These depot almost going down here on the right hand side, going to need to repair that quite quickly, so I don't know when or if I pick up this. Going to pull some more SCVs, so myself I only have a half a dozen SCVs left mining, but we're going to work our way through a lot of those Zerglings and actually see a Baneling nest coming up, so Wodan going to try and bust this open. We have Dark Matter that's in substantial trouble. These 3 Reapers actually doing quite a lot of damage here, as there's not a lot from Wodan that's able to defend. So we're just trying to keep the diamond player down as best we can, try and make sure he can't reinforce, but still somehow managing to squeeze a dozen marines out to try and make the most of this. Actually got these marines completely walled in here so that the Zerglings can't pick them off, forcing Dark Matter to lift off, but we have that Baneling nest almost finished up here, so Wodan could potentially throw us a big Baneling bust and just burst through this wall. Probably should have reinforced it. The barracks and a few bunkers and things would have made that very tight. Have a massive amount of Banelings morphing in here. So we have Smallpox trying to recover. He's rebuilding his infrastructure. We have a few cannons here. The Marines and SCVs continuing to try and hold that wall fast, but the Banelings are finally finished up. We have Zerglings just trying to chase these Marines around in circles. The Reapers do make it back down, but unfortunately Speedlings on the low ground going to clean those up quite quickly. The last Reaper tries to streak for safety, but unfortunately can't get behind the barracks. Zergling's going to try and make their way through, but it's too little, too late. We have Banelings moving up the ramp. They're going to blow up part of it. Oh, it looks like they will get that down. The Speedling's going to burst through. There's not enough Marines here to hold out. Unfortunately, most of my Marines on the other side of the map at the moment. And it looks like Wodan and Dark Matter have busted through now. Base. Fortunately for Smallpox, plenty of cannons going to be able to hold off these Zerglings, but unfortunately for my mineral line, there's not a lot of redemption in sight. Stalker here going to be microing his way back and forward against these Marines, so doing a lot of damage here. Smallpox with this single Stalker, unfortunately Baneling chasing the Stalker down, Stalker trying to escape, but Baneling able to connect there nonetheless. My command center is going to make a break for freedom. Unfortunately, most of my SCVs have been destroyed. If we look at the units tab, I have 1 SCV and 14 Marines, so no idea where my Marines have actually got to. Apparently my Marines are in Wodan's base here, trying to work their way through. Going to try and snipe out that nice positioning there between the mineral between the minerals and the geyser. Going to allow us to work through all of those Zerglings, but the Zerglings have completely overrun our base. Going to lift those up before they can burn down, and looks like the game will be suffering from a bit of a reset. We've cleared out our Zerg and Terran opponents. They're just starting to re-establish themselves now, but likewise they've done a heck of a lot of damage to both our base. We have Wodan actually in the mineral line of Smallpox now, going to be doing a lot of damage to these probes. The cannons will finally clean them up. Oracle getting a few kills there as well, but Smallpox looks like he's the only one left in this game with any kind of economy. I'm going to land here at this expansion, try and actually get some work done, but unfortunately for both of us, it seems either side of this game may just lack enough units to actually fight back and win the game. I was currently supply blocked, so able to drop quite a few mules, but unable to build a whole lot. Going to try and wall off with these half-destroyed units. And we've got these few Marines just continuing to be a little bit of an annoyance here. So our blue and red players are gonna have trouble actually trying to move out. Smallpox here going to be harassing with an Oracle, which always good for a little bit of annoyance, getting a few kills there. But our blue, so we've had cheese versus cheese, and both these sides trying to stabilize. They're probably able to move out and do a substantial amount of damage, but unfortunately they do have to try and deal with these Marines that are tucked away behind behind these barracks. If they move out and ignore them, these Marines can move in and do quite a bit of damage. I do try and move up to try and finish things off. I think, ooh, I've got, you know, a dozen Marines. Maybe I can do some damage, but unfortunately the bunker is going to be more than enough to scare these away. The Marines against a bunker, not a great idea. We're going to lose 3 of those Marines there, and they try and make their way back. We have Smallpox Oracle making its way back across the field. Have Wodan with his Overlords just going to be scouting. Unfortunately for me, they haven't actually seen my new expansion. Finally getting a supply depot down. Even going for some Widow Mines, trying to prevent those Zerglings and Banelings from doing too much damage. These workers just continuing to get mopped up by Wodan. Really probably needs to throw down a Spore Crawler. A few Marines here going to be doing some damage to the Oracle, but not quite enough. Missile turret though, and Dark Matter's mineral line's going to keep him safe. The hilarious thing is that we're 15 minutes into the game and every single player on the map is working off one base here, so a little bit silly, but a lot of fun as we try and make do with what is a severely reduced economy. Oracle there, unfortunately not going to be able to take down a missile turret. Missile turret will come off best every time. And we have everyone just trying to recover as best we can. And these are some of my favourite games of StarCraft, where everything goes to pot and you're just trying to make do with a relatively few number of units, and we can see every player trying to do that as best they can, try and make do with a much reduced economy. Smallpox actually going to be expanding back to my main base, and we have Dark Matter there stating the obvious. His SCV pull all in, almost enough to completely destroy us, but fortunately we were able to do a little bit of damage back and keep ourselves in the game. So this is probably one of the few games where we come up against a diamond player and don't just get utterly destroyed straight away. We have Dark Matter trying to rebuild here, actually going to throw down his second command center. We still don't have any upgrades for his Marines as of yet. I think my Marines were finally getting Stimpack at the 16-minute mark, and guys, I got to tell you, if you're getting Stimpack at the 16-minute mark, you've done a lot wrong, so you really ought to have these a lot sooner, but figuring that if I can get Stimpack before my opponent, I'll at least be able to trade quite well against his Marines. Dark Matter still mining on his main base, remarkably, probably because he did pull all those SCVs early on. We have Pox almost finished his main base here, almost completely mined out, probably has a minute or two left. Our Zerg player still going strong, has barely touched his gas here. One geyser has mined about 500, but the remainder completely unused. Unfortunately for Wodan, still hasn't thrown down Spore Crawler. We are finally going to see one down. The Queen here going to be doing alright against his Oracle, but unfortunately once it does go down, the Oracle is going to just reap havoc here. We have 4 or 5 kills. Going to try and focus down this Spore Crawler, but there's so many Marines from Dark Matter. We'll just explode it in pretty Oracle-shaped confetti. Dark Matter continuing to try and stabilise here, finally going for his upgrades. We have add-ons coming on here. We have Stimpack just getting started, my Stimpack finishing a few moments ago. We have a few Widow Mines now in play, just in case they find this expansion. I figure, what's the chance they've got detection when their economy's as strapped as it is? Going for a drop. I know I've got Stimpack and Medevac, so significantly in a better position than Dark Matter should be in. I don't think I as of yet have any real upgrades, but that drop able to do quite a bit of SCV damage. If we check, for some reason that isn't the same hotkey in this game. I wanted to check the workers kill tab, but for some reason it's a different hotkey in team games. Don't often cast multiplayer games, mostly cast one-on-one, so apologise for that. Gonna have to look up that and work out why that hotkey is so different. But another Widow Mine up at the front door of their base, just trying to keep them contained as best we can. We have Wodan finally going to be moving out, taking expansion of his own. Me trying to build a base in possibly the most ridiculous location in the middle of the map. I mean, when in doubt, expand somewhere that's so blatantly ridiculous that hopefully they'll ignore it. But fortunately for us, we have them slightly contained. It's not much of a contain, but the scan actually just going down and missing that Widow Mine. I think we're going to see them move out and crush this this proxy finally. My 3 barracks steadily producing some of the finest Marines that the Kaprulu sector has ever seen as they streak their way to glory and then get horribly butchered by Banelings and opposing Marines. A few Marauders making their way out on the map finally, and another reactor coming up. So Dark Matter at the 20-minute mark, going to be grabbing his add-ons for his barracks. He's got the +1 weapons upgrade. I think he's probably still ahead of us in that regard. My 0-0 Marines still holding strong. I think I'm going for an engineering bay, which is well and truly about 15 minutes too late. So, Smallpox, plenty of Zealots and Stalkers. We see Pox still on tier 1 technology here, plenty of unupgraded gateways, but just trying to macro away. Got 2 bases going. I think he's the only player in this match with 2 bases actually doing anything. A few roaches from Wodan, they're going to force that drop away. In honesty, probably those stimmed up Marines could have dealt with the roaches, but probably best to pull them back. We have a bunker being established tantalizingly close to this Widow Mine. I think if that SCV actually tries to construct from here, it may actually get shot by the Widow Mine. We'll see. Actually, it is in range, so that poor SCV is getting blasted over the bunker there. The bunker going to be delayed, so that's a little bit hilarious. I can't believe he was that close to the Widow Mine. So going to be sending down another SCV to try and finish the job. Why leave it half done? We have a creep covered bunker holding the main ramp. A few more roaches from Wodan. I'm going to be dropping a few more Marines and Marauders, trying to make life just that little bit tougher for Dark Matter. Don't want him getting that bunker set up. Trying to bait these units into the Widow Mine if I can. Indeed, can we get it? Yes, so a few more Marines going to be exploding there. A few more medevacs coming down here. We have Marines stimmed up behind the barracks, going to be trying to sandwich in. There's a few roaches here, but I have a few Marauders of my own as well, so just doing as much damage as we can. Probably should have lifted up those barracks so these other Marines could help. Going to boost those medevacs out of here as quickly as we can. Looks like Dark Matter and Wodan got the better of us in that engagement. This Widow Mine though, it's still alive. It's about to go off cooldown. It's about to get it. 2 more kills, so 6 kills. Very expensive kill on that Marauder, unfortunately for Dark Matter, as further doing damage he probably can't afford to sustain. Big stim on top, going to clean up those couple of units from Dark Matter though, unfortunately is over-stimmed and under-cared for Marines. Going to die very quickly to roaches with that +1 weapon upgrade. So looks like our opponents may be stabilising on 2 bases. Going to get an expansion of my own. Finally here at the 24-minute mark, going to move up to 2 base economy like a baller. And my new main base slowly starting to get enough supply depots to actually do something. Need a few more barracks, a couple of add-ons, but Smallpox looks like he's decided to join the action. He's got straight Stalkers and Archons, so I think unfortunately for our opponents here, I think Smallpox is well and truly out macroed them and us. And these roaches, unfortunately, not going to do a whole lot against 2-1 Archons and Stalkers. We see Stalkers and Archons able to rip it through. The Marines going to get a big stim move in here, clean up a few of these Archons and Zealots, but unfortunately the splash damage on these Archons is just going to be too much here. We have a few units being produced. I imagine those will load up and try and join the fray. But our noble opponents, Wodan and Dark Matter, Cheese, as courageous as it was, our Cheese able to get that little bit of an extra edge here in this game. So I just want to cast this game for you guys, show you a little bit of the fun we're having on ladder. The whole point of ladder shenanigans is that you guys will go out and have some fun too. Starcraft 2 can be taken very seriously, but it ought to have a bit of fun while you're playing, guys. So this ends up happening quite frequently. We end up in quite hilarious games like this, and we thoroughly enjoy it. The nice back and forward silly nature. We have Widow Mines destroying an Archon there, getting the last laugh for Dark Matter as he tries to hold on. These Archons, though, I think are going to be the final bullet in his grave. So guys, get out there, have some fun, hit up the ladder. If you guys want to join us, we frequently play. We're on most nights we play a game or two. or more, depending on how much time we have. If you guys want to join us for some silliness, by all means, please do. Hit us up in the comments down below, and we'll add you in game and just have a little bit of fun. You'll end up on the channel and get a bit of a kick out of it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. A little bit of silliness for your Easter weekend. This is Aussie Starcraft, and I'll catch you in the next cast.